It's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you go over the top rope and then you bang your head on the ring apron. Don't do that. That's when you feel like a big dope. They're the worst bumps you can be taking. Oh yeah, it's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you reach out for the hot tag, then you go ahead and make your own comeback, knock it off. That's when you should quit wrestling. And you're better off rolling in thumbtacks. Hey Bob Squad, it's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Now double claps. I can't hear you at home. The hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da. Whoa, Nelly. Tip the veal, try the waitress. Some weather we're having. Bottom of the ninth, bases loaded. 2 strikes, 2 outs. It's a scorch out there, and the Brooklyn Dodgers win a series. Ba-da-ba-ba-da. 23 skidoo. Do-do-do. Hey, everybody, it's me, Bob. How's it hanging? How are things? How's tricks? How's the kids? Some weather we're having. Doing stuff, saying things, doing things related to the stuff we're saying stuff in correlation with the things we're doing, Daddy. All the way live, baby doll. Living on the edge of a lightning bolt, punching the clock, passing the buck, working hard but hardly working, burning the candle at both ends, burning the midnight oil 24/7, 365, three's company, third time's the charm, the whole 9 yards, the whole kit and caboodle, the whole enchilada. We're on cloud 9, jumping off the walls, bouncing off the ceiling, Daddy. I haven't said anything. I've been talking for 1 minute and 45 seconds. Okie dokie. What are we talking about today? Hey! We're talking about something a little better than Raw. We're talking about the Tuesday, May 11th, NXT Hulu edition, not limited, commercial enough interruption. This podcast, of course, as you already know, brought to you by Diet Dr. Pepper. Diet Dr. Pepper tastes just like regular Dr. Pepper. Go to coca-cola.com/Dr. Pepper, enter the code name Hardest Part of the Ring, and absolutely nothing happens. They have nothing to do with this. They would like me to cease and desist in all likelihood. Be that as it may. Let's talk about the program, okay? The program. We open with Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant, and then there's a big sweaty package in our face. They got a huge, veiny, blue package laying on our shoulders. We're trying to type late at night, working after hours. Alrighty. These packages... I LOL'd. I just cracked myself up there, Bob Squabs. I need a sip of water. I need to calm down. This is very serious business right here. No more screwing around. Let's take this wrestling podcast that 18 people listen to seriously. I like these video produced segments up top because these ones, I think, better than the Raw ones. They highlight the angles that we're addressing tonight. Why should you care about today's show and not just, hey, we're going to spend the next 3 hours hyping up a pay-per-view that's 6 days away. Like, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. These are better. They're briefer. They're definitely shorter, and we go right to a match. What is the match? Austin Theory is going to wrestle the champion Karrion Kross in a non-title match. Karrion Kross is wearing a loincloth like some of the later incarnations of He-Man, because He-Man always has like the furry shorts, and later on people would give him more of a flappy battle thingy. So Kross is wearing that. Yeah, he's looking like kind of like Dolph Lundgren He-Man from the waist down, which is kind of odd. Be that as it may, he beats the crap out of Austin Theory as he should. I thought they gave Austin way too much offense here. Yes, it started with an eye rake, so that's fair, but Austin shouldn't be throwing him into barricades, and him being Karrion Kross, the champion. Austin Theory should not be throwing Kross into the ring post and the barricades and this, that, and the other thing. Gargano is on the outside because we have to have as much Johnny Stupid Gargano as possible. We have to, as much as possible. Eventually, Kross gives 2 of his sideways drop you on your head for no reason suplexes to Austin Theory, and he he elbows him in the back of the head, and he do a referee stoppage, which is good. And I like that Cross, as he's beating Theory into stoppage, he's looking at Gargano, excuse me, I pronounced his name wrong. LOL. See what I did? So that's interesting. So clearly, this means any upcoming opponents of Cross or Gargano are going to lose, because this is a match they're going to build up for way too long, to the point where we don't want to see it. And I don't want to see it, honestly, because I know they're going to have Cross wrestle Gargano's stupid match, and Gargano will do all his fancy kicks, and I'm not a Gargano fan, can you tell? It's not my guy. He's not my guy. I like Cross. I like Thatcher. I like Ciampa. I like those guys. I like Adam Cole. I like Kyle O'Reilly. I like Roderick Strong. I don't know if he quit for real or whatever the hell that was. I like Pete Dunne. I like Finn Balor. I don't hate everybody. Actually, I think I like everybody but Gargano. I can even deal with Austin Theory. Mrs. Gargano is fine too. That's not fair. Her name is Candice LeRae. You shouldn't do that to people and identify them by their significant other only. That's not unfair. Candice LeRae is actually one of my favorites on this program, if you will. Okie dokie. Match gets 7 billion stars. And they announced Karrion Kross will defend against Finn Balor for in 2 weeks from this week's episode. Oh yeah, I forgot to say they repeated Balor standing behind Kross, just like Kross did to Balor like a month or two ago to set up for the Mania month match, or whatever the hell it was. Okay, there were some commercial breaks in here. They probably wanted me to get State Farm insurance. There's a lot of that. They really, really want me to get that insurance, and I'm not going to, but they want me to. Then Mercedes Martinez is wearing a goofy mask, which might have been cool a year or two ago, but with Retribution, like, none of these masks are cool now. I think everyone's got to lay off of them. But anyway, she challenges Raquel Gonzalez for the NXT Women's Championship. There is a spear. Mercedes spears Raquel Gonzalez on the ring apron, which is the hardest part of the ring, if you did not know. There was a weird stumble at some point where I think Raquel was supposed to be either on her feet or on her knees for something for Mercedes, and quite wasn't, and Mercedes gave her an extra little shot just to accompany that. Raquel gives Mercedes the booby slam, 1, 2, 3, as we kind of thought was going to happen. Match gets 99,000 stars. I mean, obviously, yes, we all expected, Mercedes is there to be the first opponent for Raquel. I would have liked this better if I'd seen more of Mercedes Martinez go through a few other heels. The only other one, at least on Hulu, she wrestled was Dakota Kai, and that ended in a DQ. So I would have liked to have seen Mercedes maybe, God forbid, beat an Indy Hartwell or even a Candice LeRae in a previous month or two, or be more competitive with Xia Li or something. Or whoever the hell, who are the other heels they have? There's always the Aaliyah. She's always there to lose to somebody. But they loaded up on baby faces because they got that Zoe Stark. I don't know if they did Mercedes and Mercedes Martinez and Toni Storm. She's there too, and she's already kind of lost in that shuffle role too, which kind of sucks. She's great. Oh boy, so that's unfortunate. I think there was just no one for. Seems like there was no one for Mercedes to wrestle. And I mentioned Indy and Candice, but they're not gonna the way lose ever. So that's not going to happen. I don't know. Yeah, I think with Mercedes, because there's nothing wrong with the match. It was fine. Nothing wrong with the match. Match was very good. It wasn't quite too long. I like that. It was like 10 or 12 minutes, something like that. But it didn't need to be 20. It didn't need to get the. Raquel needed to be somewhat dominant and just show Mercedes is tough. She's going to kick Raquel's ass for a bit, but eventually Raquel is just going to overpower her, and it's very simple. So that was all very good. I hope there's more for Mercedes Martinez. I know she's in her 40s, and I have a soft spot for the performers who are in her 40s holding on. So I hope I hope she continues to be used. What I wrote Scott and cameraman. Why did I write that? I don't know. Oh, Scott Swerve gets out of a Jeep or something with 18 friends. I don't know who they are, and they knock down a cameraman for no reason. A blonde lady sees that Bronson Reed is down, and a bunch of people are yelling at Bronson Reed, or yelling that Bronson Reed is hurt in a locker room. Bronson Reed is yelling about Gargano, so I guess Gargano attacked him or something. Even sneaking up on him, I don't see Gargano successfully attacking and beating up Bronson Reed in any form or fashion, which is why they had to do it off camera. It actually does make sense. I'll give them credit for this because when they do these sneak attacks that are on camera, why would they be filming to begin with? So it makes more sense for an announcer or a journalist or whatever backstage to be like, "Hey, the reason I'm talking to you is because something crazy just happened," and they find the guy laying there. That actually does make more sense. I'll give him. I'm a fair man, folks. Bob is a fair man. A lot of things. I'm a fair man. Then I fast forward to the next segment. Scott Swerve, Isaiah Scott Swerve, and 48 friends cut this long, boring promo about them being awesome. I just lost interest. This Swerve Scott, whatever his name is, guy is clearly. I mean, I think they're going to put him. Eventually, he's taking that thing from Kushida. Eventually, we'll get to Kushida later on. There's an auction for a $2 million house for some reason, and Cameron Grimes is here. I love these. It's the third week in a row. We know it's going to end with Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, all gray-haired and 60-something years old, having more money than him and laughing at him and blah, 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 and Grimes is overacting how upset he is, and it's just so much fun. It was so refreshing to see that after the boring sort of Scott thing. I'm like, oh, remember this, if you're going to do it, if it's going to be silly, do it this way. Where is it going? I have no idea. Obviously, Ted's not going to wrestle. Ted doesn't have any. I think his son, Ted DiBiase, is not wrestling right now. One of his sons got in trouble, but I don't know which one. I don't want to say which one. I don't know. Something happened. Some money thing. I don't really know, oddly enough. Yeah, I have no idea where it's going. Is the only thing. But I'm enjoying it for the moment. Not going to complain. If I'm going to get all these boring Gargano things. Oh, I missed the Gargano thing. That reminds me. He ran to Regal's office and talked about his new headband and complained about the Bronson Reed match, and then there you go. Because we need to have as many Gargano segments as humanly possible crammed into this thing. Kyle O'Reilly wrestles Oney Lorcan with no entrances for either one of them on Hulu. I bet at least Kyle's would have been on TV. Kyle wins. This is a great technical, hard-hitting, but technical match at the same time. Kyle wins, of course, with like that knee drop off the top rope kind of thing. The match gets 600,000 stars. One thing I like about Kyle is that he doesn't do anything that's not believable for his size. It's going to be interesting and maybe difficult. Eventually, Kyle and Cross are going to have that match. So that's two matches Cross has coming up in the horizon. I think they'll put off the Gargano one for longer. But Cross and Kyle, they may have trouble holding off on that because they've actually hinted on TV with given more time to that, I think, than Cross and Gargano. But hard to say because maybe Cross depends where they want to go with Cross. Because if they really want to go hard, but Cross is the evil demon babyface, then he needs a heel, and we have to go with Gargano. But on the other hand, if we want to go with Kyle as the lovable, cool guy babyface, then Cross needs to stay heelish, and I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's kind of wacky too. They really did blur the line with all those Finn and Kyle matches, and then Finn and Cross. They kind of got kind of goofy with the line of who's doing what. And then don't forget Adam Cole. He's there. Who knows? But Kyle never does anything he's not big enough to do. I think my original point was when he wrestles Cross. How's it going to look if he does all that stuff to Cross? And I don't think he will. So Kyle on the main roster I see as a disaster. He's going to be another Drew Gulak. Here's this great wrestler we're never going to use. So not a fan of that day whenever that comes, or for Adam Cole for that matter, honestly. Oh, after the match, Bobby Fish shows up because there's some beatdown. Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan are beating up Kyle O'Reilly. Bobby Fish, the old undisputed guy, returns, and he has a weird little exchange with Kyle where he pretty much says, I'm not after you, but I got my own business, and Kyle's like, hey, that's cool. The two of them did the most tag teaming of the Undisputed Era. They were the champs on a few occasions, I think. Bronson Reed announces that his match next week with Gargano for the North American yada yada is a steel cage, and guess what? Bronson's going to lose that anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Gargano's going to kick his ass, and Bronson will have a two big bump comeback, and then Bronson will lose somehow. Calling it now. Calling it now. Your main event of the evening, I thought I was gonna dislike or be bored by, and I ended up enjoying it. So pleasantly surprised. Kushida defends that, is it the cruiserweight now? It's not 205 anymore? Whatever. That purple belt for smaller guys against the Santos Escobar guy. 2 out of 3 falls. Thought I wasn't gonna like it. I thought it was gonna feel like an hour long, and it really wasn't. Um, the last 2 falls came pretty quick, but up top they get this out of the way. The 2 bad guys that hang out with Escobar, they got chased off by the MSK idiots, and because I know definitely when you're attacking someone, what you want to do is wait till they turn around and do a flip on top of their body. Don't just punch them in the face like men or anything. So they did that, a stupid hand signal, but whatever. It gets everybody out of the way, and Escobar just flat out beats him for the first fall, and this fall took the longest to get to. They go to break. Escobar just hits some sit out DVD type of thing. He just hit him with a digital video disc, is exactly what he did, which is weird, you know. I remember the VHS driver back in my day. Anyway, for the second fall, Kushida gets an armbar pretty much out of nowhere and taps. And I like that Escobar tapped quickly because he's the heel. He's really the better looking guy and the better body and probably the better athlete than Kushida. However, because he's a heel, he's not going to have as much heart. So he tapped out pretty quickly. It wasn't like Gargano would stay in a hole for 10 minutes because he's Gargano. Yeah. So now we're one apiece. And then Kushida pins Escobar shortly after with some kind of Northern Light hammerlock combination, whatever the hell. And Kushida wins, and that was it. I thought they were going to overkill it and have Swerve Scott attack Kushida, but they didn't. They just let us be happy that the babyface triumphed. This match helped Kushida a lot, in my opinion. I'm warming up to him a little bit more. He's wearing tights, and he just showed hard because of communication. He's just gonna have to be a babyface. You're not getting any heel promos out of this guy, and that's fine. He's likable. He's not doing anything wrong. There's no reason to boo the man or hate the guy. It's just a matter of we're just making a connection. I do think ultimately Swerve Scott has taken that thing from him. That's just my opinion. Because really, who else is there, and why would they spend all that time on the guy? Who knows? I like the announcers during the 2 out of 3 falls match. They did a good job of treating not only the title as important, which was the NXT announcers are really good at treating every title as important, and they really just got soaked up in the action. I never heard that much wrestling called on any WWE related program in a long, long time. But the NXT announcers, there was nothing, because thankfully in this situation, there's nothing else to talk about. There's no other match, more important match coming up on a pay-per-view they got to ramble on about. They just kind of went, yeah, well, this is nothing else to talk about. This is the main event. We're here, so let's talk about what they're doing to each other and how they're trying to win. And they did, and everybody was happy. So a pretty good episode. Pretty good episode. Greatest? No, not the greatest, but how many of them can be the greatest? Pretty good. Next week we have Bronson Reed and Gargano in a cage. And in 2 weeks from now we have Karrion Kross and is it Kyle O'Reilly? I think it's Kyle O'Reilly, yeah. I think so. No, it's the Finn Balor. I'm dumb. It's the Finn Balor rematch. Okay, so I don't think Finn's winning that. I think they'll fuck the finish somehow. But who knows? Maybe Adam Cole will show up. Maybe Kyle O'Reilly will get involved. So I think Kyle and Kross is what they'll go to next. And eventually we have to do Kross and Gargano for some reason. Maybe Kross loses to Kyle. I think it's too soon, but whatever. Kross might lose to Kyle and then go after Gargano's title. Gargano's keeping that thing from Bronson Reed. I guarantee you that. Watch me be wrong. Thank you, Bob Squad. Nothing else coming up. Follow me on Twitter at Bob Hansen Jokes. We're working on it. We're working on the Beach Town podcast for the mental health and entertainment podcast. It's happening. It's coming. There's delays. This isn't just me in my apartment. There's collaboration involved, so these things, they do take time. So just bear with me, because it's coming. I'm really excited about that, because ultimately, I'd love to have a Beach Town t-shirt, and a Bob Squad shirt might not be a bad idea either. So who knows? We will see. we shall see what the situation is. I have no new toys to unbox. There's nothing I can think that I really want to buy. So, sorry. If I see something, I'll get it. What I really have my eye, the only thing I would buy like right now, just grab off the shelf immediately if I saw it, and I don't even think it's on shelves yet, is that Kingdom Galvatron. I'd love to get that just to complete the collection. I've never had a Galvatron of any kind, so I think that would be really cool. Other than that, if there were any Masters of the Universe Origins on a shelf, I guess I can go on Amazon and just click the button. I just don't feel like doing that for whatever reason. If I see a few, there's like a few, I'm gonna stay with that line and keep buying more. Thankfully, the Amazon prices too are pretty good still. They didn't really go up that crazy because they're not. It's not like it's 10 years later, you know. So, but I just don't know. I have no space, and I also don't know what I'm going to do with them. I like in my head, like I need to have an idea for a video before I just, you know, buy a bunch of toys because that's really what my toys are for. But you're going to learn all about that in somebody else's video on another channel in the somewhat near future in Chasing 80s Toys. So that's coming when it comes. Thrilled about that as well. I'm fired up. Got the ants in the pants, butterflies in the stomach, thunder from down under, daddy, rumble in the earth, man, just jumping off the walls, million miles an hour, heart pumping, blood boiling, ice water flowing through the veins, diesel pumping out of every orifice on the hardest part of the ring.